What kind of wing is this?
That's a Voltex Type 1?
Now, Voltex has a pretty basic wind tunnel, and I believe they use CFD when they design their profiles. And when you look at the shape, this is kind of interesting because when you have a fastback car like this, the airflow tends to separate a little bit here, but it also bends downward. So when the airflow is bending downward, you don't need such an angle of attack in the middle part where your roof is, because the airflow around here is bending downward, but as you go away from the roof, the airflow is more straight across. So that's why you have this feature. You know, before they had swan neck wings, this was a more popular thing on race cars, you probably noticed.
Yep.
Which is another thing about swan necks. People go, what do those do? But generally a swan neck, the underneath of the wing is where you generate most of your downforce. And by not having the stanchions attach and create turbulence right here and having it on top, that makes the wing about 5% more efficient. And so that's the reason why they have swan necks. You don't have a swan neck. What's wrong with you?
It looks weird on this car. I have it on my Porsche, but not on this one.
Okay.
Trust me, I tried. I was like, how do I make a swan neck? I'm like, just keep it like this.
These end plates here actually help the wing efficiency because the airflow is coming across the wing. And if you don't have these, it kind of spills over the side. But what this does is it keeps the air going straight across your whole span of your wing.
Should you go bigger on the bottom side or the top side of these end plates?
It's hard to say.
Really?
But I mean, just probably on the bottom, because, you know, the flow activity on the bottom is the most important. So I would say if you're going to not have a symmetrical plate, it's probably better to have more area on the bottom. And this thing here is called a gurney flap. And what this does is it helps generate more low pressure up on top because it acts kind of like the flap on your airplane wing. But, you know, it's like small, so it actually doesn't contribute that much more to drag. So your gurney flap height, you know, like you see all kinds of stuff that people put on their cars, but generally you want it to be about 6 to 8% of the chord of the wing. That's where the gurney is most efficient, where it makes the most downforce for the least amount of drag. And it looks like yours is right about that level. So this was probably done by Voltex.
It took 5 months.
But it's, you know, an actual working one, not a decorative one.
Yeah.
So it's giving you more efficiency and not giving you that much more drag.
So if I run a gurney flap, can I remove some of the angle of attack?
Yeah, definitely. The other thing too is wing angle. That's all pretty important. Now, generally you don't want to exceed a 12-degree angle of attack because you could have flow separation and turbulence, especially if you have you know, the air bending over the top of the car, so your angle of attack, it could actually be more than 12 degrees. That's why they have this flat section of the wing. If you want to exceed it, you just about have to do a flow viz or a yarn thing, because I've cranked them up to 18, but with testing, I can see the flow still attached. But if you want to be perfectly safe and you don't have time for testing, don't exceed 10 to 12. That's 10 to 12, not including the gurney flap.
Yeah.
And when the gurney flap, the wing becomes more efficient, so maybe you can take angle out and have less drag. So
should you have more angle of attack, say, if you're going slower? Like, the purpose of this car is a canyon car, right? So should I have more angle of attack, more aggressive aero versus, like, say, at the track, I'm hauling ass the whole time, 80, 90, 100 miles an hour?
God, it's hard to say. Like, if you make a crazy angle of attack, you're getting like Newtonian downforce, but then you're also causing turbulence. So the wing efficiency goes way down. The effectiveness of the wing goes down. I would say in the canyon, crank it to 12 and, you know, do a little bit of float viz, or you can use ATF or something, you know, that'll wipe right off. And, you know, just make sure it's streaking back there. And if it's streaking back there, I mean, you can crank it till it quits streaking. You know what I mean?
How will it look if it's not working properly? Will the oil just start?
It won't be a straight line. You'll see like it like curlicule and even like go around backwards and stuff.
Okay.
So that's how you know that you're getting to the zone where you're actually hurting things.